Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. So today I decided to come out to the shop after I got off work, and I was in between project ideas. I was thinking about making French cleat holders for some of my tools, or making a stand for my jointer, or making a stand for this scroll saw. As you can see, I decided to start working on the stand for the scroll saw. And the reason why I chose the scroll saw is because it's normally housed underneath the stand for my Ryobi bandsaw. So obviously it's not going to get much use in that position. This project is a minor project to try to help me to get more familiar with the tools that I own. And I'm hoping to be able to continue to grow as far as in my skill building, if you will. So I decided I wanted to use as many of my tools as I could today. So I'm pulling out the track saw, I'm using the MFT. I brought out some of my TSO and my benchdogs.co.uk triangles and a few other tools in this particular process. Now, as I mention all the time, I only have about a couple of hours when I get off of work, and I had already spent a lot of time just kind of rearranging and getting the shop set up so that I could kind of do what I was doing. Part of that setup was, rearranging the actual machines so that I could use them, but then also clearing up a little bit of a space so that I can kind of get around fairly easily. So this is going to be a simple stand, just using 2x4s and plywood to make it. Right there, I'm using the benchdogs.co UK triangle, and I like it. It's pretty cool, and but however, I would like to have one of those bigger carpenter squares and also a T square to be able to make some of these markings, because it'll give me a longer reach. There are times when I use these triangles, both this one and the TSO, where I'm unable to go all the way across my work. So I will be looking into getting some of those more expensive marking devices just to kind of help with some of my designs and such. So I decided that I want to just round off the edges here, just something to do. It's not necessary. However, a lot of the shop tables that I've built and furniture, they all have like pointed edges, and sometimes you can get snagged on that. So for this particular project, I decided to make those little circles on the edge. I'm pre-drilling holes for where the drill press is actually, or the scroll saw is going to actually fasten to the tabletop, just so I know where they are, and it doesn't interfere with the design later. So here I'm using my Ryobi, my little small bandsaw. Now in the future, I'm going to have to raise this up. I actually put it on a low stand where the table is actually level with my MFT. And one of the reasons why I made it so low is so that when my daughters come out, they could actually practice, as obviously they're shorter than I am. And then here I'm using the rigid sander that many woodworkers have. Where I have everything placed right now, it's kind of tight to get in there and get things done. However, just using the tools is what's going to actually make me a little bit better at it. I decided too that I wanted to go ahead and use the router, so I'm using this little roundover. Now, this router table is pretty cheap. It's got a Ryobi router in it as well, and I didn't even bother to raise the bit or anything. I just used it as is. When I looked at the actual roundover, it didn't look all that great. However, this is a piece of reclaimed plywood, so it's not that big of a deal. Here I'm firing up the DeWalt flexible table saw, and I'm just trying to square up these 2x4s a little bit to build the frame. And then I'm using my DeWalt saw to cut things to, cut the edges off, because all of this wood that I'm using is from previous projects that have been torn down. Here I'm marking out a barrier or a boundary so that I can, I'm going in about an inch on each side, and then using my TSO triangle to mark that off. And then that's where I'm going to build the frame. So the table's going to have a very small lip once I get finished with it. So this 2x4 obviously has got a lot of wobble in it. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, do I want to split the 2x4 or 2x4 in half and mill it up? I decided to just cut them to rough length, not the complete length. And once I get all the parts, I believe what I'm going to do is just get some more jointer practice, and I'll run these over the jointer and try my best to get them as flat as I can get them. These exercises are very necessary for a novice like myself. Now, I did cut these shorter pieces, which may have been a mistake because I don't know how well I'm going to be able to run those over the jointer since they're so small. So I may end up having to recut these shorter pieces in the future. And once I kind of got all of this stuff kind of laid out, I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to actually try some half laps. So these center pieces are probably not going to be like that. Tomorrow or the next day, I'll try some half laps. Anyways, guys, thanks for taking time to watch the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.